Attention, we have a proclamation before the council meeting starts, and Mayor Glaze is going to read the proclamation. Would the Giatano family please come up to the
Many of
podium?
them. If y'all all want to come, nobody wants to come, everybody wants to come. You got them all? All right. Well, this one's a good one for me. So, this is George Brannigan's spearheaded the legislation and this proclamation. So he wants me to read it, and after I read it, he's going to make a few comments. So it says, whereas Barbara Giatano was a longtime City of Kenner recreation employee for 39 years and left a lasting mark on the Recreation Department and will never be forgotten. Whereas she dedicated her life to serving the children of our community. Whereas Barbara Giatano coached softball, volleyball, and basketball for multiple teams, including the 7 and 8, 9 and 10, and 11 and 12-year-old teams, and also managed the day-to-day operations of the Musbertolino Playground Gym. Whereas she impacted the young ladies she coached by using sports to teach them meaningful and long-lasting life lessons. Whereas Barbara Giatano was a kind and caring person that was seen as a role model in the community. Now, therefore, I, Kenner Mayor Michael Glazer, along with the members of the Kenner City Council and Chief of Police Keith Conley, do hereby declare that the Musbertolino basketball court be known as the Barbara Giatano Court, given under my hand and seal of the City of Kenner, Louisiana, this 4th day of May, 2023. And she didn't do it alone, because her husband, Mr. Joe, is still there. He was there the whole time. And I played at the park, and I think he was there when I played at the park with his son, JoJo. So if you want to say anything, or I know
Joe, did you want to say anything?
I'd just like to thank everyone for making this possible, and I know she's looking down at this here, and she would be grateful. Like I said, she ran our girls program at the playground, so nobody could want for anything. And I don't know if anybody knew it, but she worked for Jefferson Parish School System for 25 years as a special ed teacher. So, then when they asked her to take the job at the gym, she left me and went there. And now everybody's trying to get me to leave recreation and go work in another department, but my boss over there won't let it happen now. So thank you, and I appreciate it.
Okay, Joe. A little bit about Miss Barbara. 25 years in the Jefferson Parish School System that coincided with 39 years of service in the Kenner Recreation Department at the playgrounds when we were using Miguez Park and Musbertolino Playground. 19 of the years, Miss Barbara was the daytime supervisor at the Musbertolino Gym after leaving the school system. 39 years of greatness, inspiring young children, mostly girls, to excel in volleyball, softball, and basketball in the age groups of 7, 8, 9, 10s, and 11, 12s. Mr. Joe and Miss Barbara were accused of favoring girls' sports over boys, but the children were lucky that they did and lucky to have them. Many of the all-star teams were coached by Barbara and Joe for the Kenner Recreation Department. Miss Barbara taught these young ladies about sports and how to do the right thing and about life. I have found that children that are involved in athletics become future leaders in high school and college and in their family life. Miss Barbara had a major impact in all of these young ladies' lives as she coached them for the fundamentals of sports and life. I was lucky to be able to coach with Barbara with my daughter Kelly back in 1995 on the Field of Dreams. I hope that you know that Musbertolino is so much better because of Barbara Giatano, not a doubt. Barbara enjoyed what she did and was an awesome person who told it like it was, and her no-nonsense approach that the children were drawn to. The players loved her and learned much from her. If success is defined in championships, during that time, Barbara and Joe won about 20 championships. So when her and her husband coached together, they put their mark on Musbertolino Playground and also Kenner All-Star events. Mr. Joe and Miss Barbara were married for 58 years. 39 of them were tied to Kenner Recreation. They met at Kenner Junior High School and the rest was history. They have 3 children, 6 grandchildren, and 8 grandchildren, and know what family means. Longtime Kenner people that makes up the backbone of our community. Several people approached me about naming the court after Miss Barbara. Dudley Miguez and Terry Miguez were 2 of the people that came to me to get this thing done. It is deserving that the Musperlino court be named after the person that made Musperlino great. The time she spent in the court coaching and teaching basketball and volleyball is unbelievable. She had a true love of what she was doing. The naming of the court after Miss Barbara is something special that we can do for Barbara Giotano and the Giotano family. I'm here to tell you that today, well, not starting today, but starting in about 7 days, the court will be named the Barbara Giotano Court at Musperlino Playground. It's a tribute to someone who is deserving and dedicated her life to children. I love this addition because it's Barbara Giotano that gave back to Kenner Recreation and the school system for all those years that made a huge difference. I also know that this will make Mr. Joe happy. As a long time Kenner Recreation employee, he will be very proud. To be able to walk into the Bertolino gym every day and see his wife's name painted on the floor and on the back wall behind the scorer's table will be a fond moment from the first time and forever. Most people have no idea what the Giotanos have given to Kenner and the Kenner Recreation Department. I thank you.
Y'all want to take a photograph?
Yeah.
Hi, well, you guys are up there. Can I say something, Mike? Thank you. The days are long, but life is short. A grain of sand in the hourglass of time. What you do with your speck of existence is most important. Miss Barbara understood the importance and packed a bootload of life in much her brief 73 years. She left a lasting mark that will reverberate through Kenner for generations to come. Miss Barbara was one of those special people you meet that sticks with all your days. Someone to admire, emulate, and appreciate time you had together. She had a true zest for living that rubbed off on others. She loved and lived the life to the fullest. She had a kind heart, was never afraid to speak her mind about what she believed was right. She helped many kids and adults through her life. I was privileged to know her and have her to be a part of my life for so many years. Miss Barbara left many lasting memories, will always ring a major influence on many, especially me. She had a special philosophy summed up in these few words: practice random acts of kindness. Be kind to everyone, and Miss Barbara was. Even though she's gone, her legacy will live on. My family and thousands of others will be always grateful. Thank you.
We'll be starting in 1 minute. Madam Clerk.
One meeting to follow on 12, and Brannigan's going to second. Raymond's going to motion.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum. In accordance with Council Resolution Number B14550, please be advised that all cellular telephones and other devices of this nature must be deactivated or silenced throughout the council meeting. Next, we have correspondence, reports from the mayor, CAO, or department heads. Mr. Chairman, if I could, please, we're going to go ahead and entertain a one-meeting deferral on the executive sessions that we have on the agenda today.
Okay. So on the deferral, I have a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember Brennan to defer the executive session. All council members in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0.
Oh,
Yes, sir. That's
we
okay.
didn't do the invocation and the pledge.
Oh, okay.
We got to do that.
Yeah, we can go back to it. It's fine.
Father Sirio Serrano, can you come up to the mic and say our prayer for us?
Indeed. Thank you for the invitation. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Tonight, as Christians, we pray for our government and our leaders. However, we are not only to pray for our leaders or government officials in the national office, but also for those who are gathered here tonight. In Timothy it says, I exhort therefore that first of all, supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving thanks be made for all men. So, Heavenly Father, I thank you for those who are having this privilege of serving our city of Kenner. I pray, Father, that as they discuss their agenda and craft policies for our city, they will always put the people's interests above their own. Heavenly Father, remind them that they are in this position not to be served, but to serve the public as Jesus Christ did, who is our King, and who came not to be served, but to serve, and ultimately, he died on the cross to save us all. So tonight we pray that these wonderful people will uphold what is moral and rational. And we ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Mayor Glazer, will you lead us in a pledge?
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor Glazer. Council Clerk?
Yes, sir. I think we will return to correspondence, reports from the mayor, CAO, and department heads.
Mayor Glazer?
Thank you. I got just a couple comments on things going on in and around the city. Happy to report that all but 2 of the railroad crossings have been redone. Williams Boulevard and Hanson are the 2 large ones that need total reconstruction, so they are set to be done sometime this month. Let the public know that our budget hearings will begin Monday at 9 a.m. in this building. If you saw when you came here in the Williams Boulevard parking lot. First time in almost 4 years, we have a Rivertown Farmers Market taking place. There's a lot of vendors out there, and I was told next week's even going to be more vendors. We're in the process with Councilman Ronnie Swarth and Rep. Stagney to schedule meetings for the Roosevelt Boulevard fixes. It's going to be a long process, but just the neighbors, to keep them informed of how long we're in the process, what's going to, the anticipated time to redo it. So it's going to be at Fassbender Center, and we'll put the notices out once we finalize with Representative Sagney's office when he's available. The Power Boulevard and Williams projects in the 2030 plan should be, the Power is bidding this month, and Williams will start bidding next month with a total price tag of about $15 million. The 30th Street overlay has begun. I know it's well on its way, and it's long overdue, because anyone that goes to Sam's knows the condition of that roadway was absolutely horrible. Movies and music in the park begin tomorrow, 6:30 or 6 o'clock tomorrow, because we have two bands being in Cinco de Mayo at 6 p.m. Music in the park, and Saturday at 8 p.m. is movies in the park, and that'll run every Friday and Saturday in May. And we have a brief video on our new website that just launched, just kind of some ins and outs of what you can do in it and all that kind of stuff. So with that said, it's only about 4 minutes long.
The City of Kenner's new website has officially launched, and to ensure that members of our community can navigate the new site effectively, we're providing a brief overview of the main features. First, to access the city's new site, users will use the same URL at kenner.la.us. Once accessing the site, users will be brought to the home page of the website. On the right-hand side of the home page, we have what we refer to as our mega menu. This is where users can easily access information related to city government, departments, community, business, services, and obtain information on how to conduct a certain action, such as apply for employment, find an agenda, or report fraud. After the mega menu comes the icons. This is where users can conveniently access agendas and minutes, make service payments, view and book parks and facilities, register for activities, view employment opportunities, and access information on garbage and recycling. When you continue to scroll, you'll find the news and updates portion of the home page, which is where citywide news and updates can be found. This portion of the site allows for numerous news and updates. However, the top 4 events for the month will be listed on the home page, and the last event will always highlight the 2 council meetings for that month. As you scroll further down on the website, you'll see an event calendar. This is where users can view citywide events. For reference, some departments may have additional calendars that include more department-specific events, but the homepage calendar is where the city's main events will be highlighted. After the event calendar is the Get in Touch portion of the website. This is where users can conveniently access the mayor's office, members of the city council, the communications department, or report a problem. The last portion of the homepage is where users can access helpful links such as Jefferson Parish's Emergency Alert System, JP Alert, brake tag stations, licenses and permits, flood preparedness information, public records requests, and employment opportunities. One page in particular that we'd like to highlight is the garbage and recycling page. Users can access this page by going to the garbage and recycling icon and will find that this page provides general information on both of these services. For more detailed information, users can access either of the subpages to the left that offers more detailed information on garbage and recycling services. We'd also like to highlight the robust search engine component, as this search engine is much more user-friendly. For example, when searching for something such as Rivertown, all matters related to Rivertown will populate. Once we click on the first option, it will bring us to the Rivertown page. On this page, users can view Rivertown's various features and attractions and facility rental information. The last highlight we'd like to showcase is the email notification component. This feature allows users to receive notifications regarding a topic of their choice. To sign up for email notifications, users can go to the How Do I menu of the website and select under Sign Up For, select Notifications, and create an account. And then select topics in which you would like to receive notifications on. The city recognizes that there are additional website updates that need to be made in order to utilize the website's full capabilities and is striving for an online city hall as an end vision. Users will continue to see interaction improvements over months to come. Thank you for viewing, and we hope that you found this preview and tutorial helpful.
Ms. Newton?
Thank you, Council Chair. Paris pretty much covered everything. I want to start by thanking the communications team for sitting through the countless hours of implementation meetings and kind of taking the bull by the horns. And I also want to thank all of our city departments who sat through hours of training to learn how to use the new website in order to better serve the public. Councilman, you said in Espanol. You'll see that there are some Spanish subheaders, but the Paris, how many languages do we have on the new website?
So this website has the ability to translate to 32 languages. This will air on KTV as well as our social media channels, and that version will include how you can select the Google Translator option and pick your preferred language.
We know we still have a long way to go, but as Paris mentioned, this should function like an online city hall. It does have a lot of additional features, but the first hurdle was launching the new website. It is much easier to use, and additionally, it is much, much easier to use on your mobile device, which most people use to try to access information. Again, we've always mentioned that the office is available by phone, email, but we hope that this will be an additional resource for our constituents to find things at their fingertips. Thank you.
Well, thank you for putting this together. We appreciate it.
George, I have a question.
Council Clerk?
Question.
Oh, Joey? Councilman Lahat?
Yeah, the website's awesome. I just noticed the QSend system. Is that new in terms of allowing the public to update to?
That is not new, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
As we talked about, there are several features that the website has that we have not turned on yet.
Yeah.
Some of these features, you'll see Rec Desk is still available, QSend. We did poll employees before we went into different modules within the website to see what they felt were good options to interact with the public. It doesn't mean we won't transition at some point, but we feel like those systems are working now. Again, when you roll over a website, we had about a 2-month window where we were maintaining 2 separate websites. So we wanted to transition to a new one and only maintain one site as quickly as possible, because most departments have 1 employee dedicated to updating their website. At max, we have 3 per department updating a website. It's a lot of work, but it is more user-friendly on the back end as well as the front end. As those new modules become available, we will do more educational videos like this, but we want to make sure our employees are properly trained to be able to assist the public when those new online options become available.
Awesome, thank you.
Council Clerk?
Yes, sir. Do we have any resolutions, motions, or other items from the floor? Seeing none, under the consent agenda, we have item 1, approval of minutes, the regular council meeting of April 21st, 2023. Item 2 is approval of alcoholic beverage permit applications. We have none. Item 3 is approval of bingo and public gathering applications. Item 3A is application number 2328-23, Taco Tun K LLC, to hold a public gathering on May 5th, 2023, from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the purpose of a Cinco de Mayo at 1205 Airline Highway. Item 3B is application number 2330-23, El Paso Mexican Grill, to hold a public gathering on May 5th, 2023, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. for the purpose of a Cinco de Mayo celebration at 2305 West Esplanade Avenue, Suite L. Item 3C is application number 2335-23, Mariana LLC, doing business as Don Jose's Grill, to hold a public gathering on May 5th, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. for the purpose of a Cinco de Mayo celebration at 2722 Williams Boulevard. And that will conclude the consent agenda.
We have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, second by Councilmember McKinney. Council members in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Under the public appearance agenda, we have item 8, public hearings and final passage. Item 8A is public hearing and final passage regarding summary ordinance number 13,241, an ordinance authorizing a public hearing and approving the proposed fiscal year 2023-2024 consolidated plan and the proposed fiscal year 2023-2024 annual action plan of the Community Development Block Grant CDBG program and the Home Investment Partnership Home Program for the Community Development Department.
I have a motion by Councilmember Dunn, second by Councilmember Sherwood, to open the public hearing. Council members in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0.
Is there anyone wishing to speak on this item? Yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
I'm DeWan Jones, Director of Community Development. This is just our annual action plan that we need to submit to HUD for our annual allocation. And this year, we're also doing our our consolidated 5-year plan that we do every 5 years. So this is something we do every year so we can get our HUD allocation to do the programs that we do through community development.
Okay. Councilmember Wilmot?
Yes, could you, I'm sorry, excuse me one second. This is involving block grants, correct?
Excuse me?
Block grants?
Yes, it's our annual block grant funding and our home funding.
Could you give us a little bit more detail on the block grants?
The block grant this year is $580,603, I think, and the home portion is $282,000 this year, $262,648, I'm sorry. And we had public hearings with our citizens. We had about 4 or 5 this year. We did surveys, and they gave us comments and what they would like us to see with the funding. So we do have the breakdown, of the funding administration, our VOA program, our transitional housing program, youth programs. That's where the funding is, and affordable housing.
Thank you for all that hard work. I know it takes a lot of time and dedication to make that work, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Dunn, second by Councilmember Sherwood to close the public hearing. Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0.
I have a motion by Councilmember Dunn, second by Councilmember Sherwood to approve. Council members in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 9 is ordinances for the sale, purchase, transfer, lease, and/or alienation of immovable property. Item 9A is a public hearing and final passage regarding summary ordinance number 13,206. An ordinance approving the sale of lots 13, 14, and 15, square 21, Old Kenner subdivision, Kenner, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, which lots are owned by the city of Kenner. Mr. Chairman, I've received a request for a 2-meeting deferral on this item.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Lahat, second by Councilmember Dunn for a 2-meeting deferral. Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 10 is opening of bids. We have none. Item 11 is reclassification of zoning for final passage. Item 11A is a public hearing and final passage regarding summary ordinance number 13,204. An ordinance approving the plan of re-subdivision of lots 15A, 23A, 25, 26, 28A, 30A, 33A, 35A, 40A, and 95D, square 133, Veteran Heights subdivision, Kenner, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, into Lot 95E, and amending ordinance number 11,062, adopted by the City of Kenner, Louisiana on March 17, 2016, entitled Unified Development Code of the City of Kenner, Louisiana, more particularly amending the official zoning map of the City of Kenner and rezoning Lot 95E, square 133, Veteran Heights subdivision, Kenner, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, from C1 neighborhood commercial and R3, 3, and 4 family residential to C2 general commercial.
I have a motion by Councilmember Dunn, second by Councilmember Sherwood to open the public hearing. Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0.
We have a presentation.
We do. I'm just trying to make sure that it's up. Can y'all, was it up? Can you see it? It's not. Oh. Okay. You're good. It's up. Okay. Sorry about that, Council President. Yes, we do have a brief presentation. The owner of the property is 1000 Veterans LLC, 104 Sweetland Drive, Broussard, Louisiana, 70519. The applicant is Mr. Philip Giorlando on behalf of 1000 Veterans LLC, 909 Poydras Street, Suite 1500, New Orleans, 70112. These properties are located along Veterans and front both Veterans Boulevard and Augusta and Helena Streets, and also Interstate 10 to the north. Except for one two-family residential unit on Lot 23A, the remainder of the land is undeveloped. The applicant held an early neighborhood meeting on February 28th, 2023 at 502 Veterans Boulevard at 6:30. They sent out 26 applications. They also agreed to conduct the meeting during the regularly scheduled Veterans Heights Civic Association. The applicant's report indicated that the comments were positive, but also that one email came in from a surrounding property owner who received notification supporting the project, but that no surrounding property owners actually attended the Civic Association meeting. But those in attendance were supportive of the project. Excuse me. The lots abutting the subject on the north and the east are zoned R3, 3 and 4 family residential. The lots that front Augusta Street and Square 132 are zoned R3, also 3 and 4 family, and all developed as combinations of 3 and 4 family residential, with some of those lots are vacant. Across Veterans Boulevard to the south, the lots are zoned C1, neighborhood commercial, and developed as multi-suite office buildings. Finally, to the east, the land was rezoned last year to C2, and is now 2 years ago, and is now the site of a Home 2 Suites hotel. The applicant has indicated that they're requesting this rezoning to build a hotel. In terms of the re-subdivision, all the lots in the re-subdivision are legal lots of record, all regularly shaped except for one. The new lot, 95E, will be approximately 90,720 square feet. The new lot meets all the minimum requirements of a C2 zoning district and the requirements of a simple re-subdivision. Now, as it pertains to the rezoning of the property, some of the lots are zoned R3, 3 and 4 family, and some of the lots were zoned C1. Previously, 15 or 20 years ago, 2 separate conditional uses were approved by the council for this property on 95D and for a hotel. It was never built, so the property remained zone C1. And they're requesting to rezone the entirety of the new lot to C2 to build a hotel. The planning department reviewed the application. We don't think there's any issues with it. No one from the surrounding neighborhood has any problems. It's going to be a good thing for the area. That's a high demand area right now. They are building a lot of hotels. There's another hotel being built down the road next to the Holiday Inn. The Home 2 Suites is being built, and then this is planned for a hotel. And so the Planning Commission did recommend approval for this development. That concludes.
Thank you, Director Dufour. Is anyone wishing to speak from the audience on this issue?
Hello, very quickly, my name is Philip Giorlando. I'm the applicant for this, and I am counsel for the owner of the property, 1000 Veterans Investments LLC. And I would just like to say, as I attended the neighborhood meeting, the Subdivision Association was very excited about 2 things that I think the entire community is excited about as development continues here, which is jobs for locals and increase in the tax base for the community. And the owner is excited to assist in beautification of this property and of this community and ensure future development as well. So I just wanted to make those brief remarks and ask for your approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Wilmot?
I just have a question from you, sir, or Wendell, if either one of y'all. I understand from Wendell's presentation that the adjacent property owners did not attend. None of them attended the community meeting. Were they served notice? Were they sent notice? of the
Yes,
meeting?
yes, they were. Yes, sir. Everybody was sent notice, and in response to those notices that were sent to all of the property owners within 250 feet, we did get one response by email to those notices because it was sent on my letterhead, and so my email was there, and they said not only do we not oppose it, we actively approve it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's
Yes,
all.
sir.
Just so we're all clear, the planning department separately sends out to the same individuals certified letter telling them the date, time, and the nature of the application, and when it will be at the planning commission if they would like to come and make public comments either way, or contact the planning department with any comments.
So it sounds like they got notice twice, maybe. Is that correct?
Pretty much every development that I bring before you has had an early neighborhood meeting. And so the early neighborhood meeting, the same people that are notified for that are notified by the planning department as part of our legal requirements.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Councilmember Dunn?
Yeah, I think that this is a great thing coming into District 1 because there's so much going on in the city of Kenner right now. Hotels is something that we need more of. So with the private investors, they already did their survey. They took in account what Kenner needs, and this is something that we talked about. One thing I also love about this is that they're going to help us uplift that quarter on veterans. They're going to give us jobs, and we will also have a hand in part of their planning because we don't have any meeting rooms within Susan Park and Veterans Heights. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember Dunn. Anyone else? Okay, got a motion by Councilmember Dunn, second by Councilmember Sharwarth to close the public hearing. Council members in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0.
Have a motion by Councilmember Dunn, second by Councilmember Sharwarth to approve. Council members in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 12 is other ordinances for final passage. Item 12A is summary ordinance number 13,227, an ordinance repealing resolution number B17293 adopted October 6, 2022, and implementing requirements for the approval of the settlement of lawsuits against the city of Kenner. Mr. Chairman, I've received a request for a one-meeting deferral.
I got a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, second by Councilmember Brannigan on the deferral. Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 12B is summary ordinance number 13,242, an ordinance amending ordinance number 7549, which dedicated revenues received from the Treasure Chest Casino.
Have a motion by Councilmember Brennan, second by Councilmember Kenny. Councilmember, I'm sorry, Council Clerk, did you have an amendment on
Yes,
this?
I do, sir. I sure
Okay.
do.
Councilmember Brennan, did you want to speak on this?
Council Clerk, you can read the amendment or
Yes. Give me 1 second.
Let's see.
We will be amending Section 1, and Section 1 will now read that the ordinance number 7549, adopted October 17, 1996, is amended to divide the dedicated 25% infrastructure maintenance and construction allocation into 6 equal portions, with each of the 5 geographic councilmanic districts receiving 1 portion, and the 6th portion divided equally between at-large districts A and B.
thank you.
Have
Okay,
a motion
so-
on the amendment. If I could get a motion and a second on the amendment?
I'll motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember Kenny
If I
on the
could,
amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that Ms. Councilwoman Member Wilmot submitted the amendment.
Oh,
So if
okay.
we could let him do the motion and
Okay,
you second.
motion by Councilmember Wilmot, second by Councilmember McKinney.
Okay, perfect. And now we can have a discussion on the amendment.
Okay,
I'd like to open on the amendment.
okay. Councilmember Wilmot?
Thank you. And this amendment, it's really clarification. The original language did not have a couple words in it, and that's all it does, is they have the word equal and equally, and the word one, and everything else is just clarification. There's no other real changes in it. The main thing, again, is clarification, and it talks in terms of portions. When you say portion, a portion could be every council member gets 1% and I get the other 94%. So that's not quite what I think this means. So that you put the word equal in it, and it makes a totally different legal meaning. And then when it's divided between the two councils at large, again, the word equally divided between them, and that's all it does.
Okay, Councilmember Brennan?
Thank you, Council Chair. Just for clarification and for understanding if the public is aware or not aware, the money that comes to the council office is from the treasure chest. The at-large council people don't receive anything from that. So they're very limited with funds in order to do projects that they'd like to see done. So this is just a way to take some of that money and to give it to the two at-large positions so they could have the necessary funds to allocate to projects they'd like. So I'd ask for your support, please.
Councilmember Lahat?
Yes, I definitely agree. I think, because when I started doing this, Christie told me when I ran for office, oh, the at-large council don't get any money. I said, why? I didn't understand it. I didn't think it was right. So I think this shows that the council is really working together to make things equitable for us to agree to split the 5 into 6 equal portions. I agree with Tom's amendment. I think that's a great idea. Makes a lot of sense for divisions A and B to get their own allocation to do the discretionary funding, because we all need that. You know, I use my funding in District 3 on various issues, you know, street work, sinkholes. We repaired the fence at Galatas, but I urge we vote for this. I think it's a great idea, and thank you.
Councilmember McKinney?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I just think that this is good legislation. Obviously, it benefits me, so it's even better. But it benefits the citizens, right? It's not just me, it's benefits the citizens. So I think that this just puts us all on an equal playing field, so we all have things that we can give and help the citizens of Kenner, right? It doesn't give us a full portion, but it gives us some money that we can have and assist on with, you know, groups that we think need assistance. So, and then that's also a good way to help us to work together even better. You know, if there's not enough money, we can help any of the district councilmen do bigger projects. So I appreciate my colleagues looking out for us. I'm for the amendment, and just thank you very much.
Councilmember Wilmot?
Yeah, earlier I spoke on the amendment. Now I'd just like to speak on the overall legislation itself.
Wait, do we have to vote on the
Yeah,
amendment?
let's go ahead and vote on the amendment, and then we can.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, second by Councilmember McKinney to amend. Council members in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Back to
Okay.
your original motion as amended.
I have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, second by Councilmember McKinney for approval, and Councilmember Wilmot wants to speak.
Correct, but I think it's.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman
if I
Brennan's.
could correct you real quick, I'm sorry. This is actually, the legislation was submitted by Councilmember Brennan.
Oh, so
The amendment was submitted by
okay.
Councilmember Wilmot.
Motion by Councilmember Brennan, second by Councilmember McKinney on the original legislation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Councilman Wilmot?
Thank you for that. Yeah, as far as the money that the council has been getting since I've been on the council, the council at larges have not received any funds to help out with different projects. And I think this is outstanding, and I thank Councilman Brennan for filing this, because it really needed to be corrected. Because I think at times it's like, Tom, can you help us out with this project? No, I don't have any money. And it's just, and the same thing with Councilwoman McKinney. And it's now, this gives us some input into the projects that we can help out. So if a councilman has a problem in a district and he's a little short, guess what? He's got a little safety net now. So it all helps and it's all good. This is good legislation and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Y'all are very excited about $30. It's amazing. Really.
Shoot, I'm glad it doesn't take effect till 2026.
Oh.
Got a motion, Councilmember Dunn?
I just want my constituents to understand that we're getting less money. I already don't have any, but we're getting less money. I'm good.
Councilmember Sharwell?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Currently, so far, I've spent over $250,000 on infrastructure repair, roads, drainage, and at this point, you'll be taking away approximately $50,000 out of the D2 account. And that's going to be seriously hurting my affairs that I have, because I got streets right now that are in deplorable condition. I have Moysan, Webster, Fairway, Compromise that need to be resurfaced, that haven't been resurfaced in over 40 years. And I don't have the funding right now to do those streets. And splitting my money with the Public Works and with the city, trying to get as much and squeeze as much as I can to get out of my district, because I have so many projects that still need to be done in District 2, Highway Park, South Kenner, everywhere else. You'll pain me to vote no on this, because I understand what it is, and at any time, either one of my at-large friends here would like to do a project in District 2. I'd be more than glad to help them at any time and put their name on it, as long as we get a project done. But you'll be taking money away from District 2 at this point, and that's seriously going to hurt me in my efforts to get my infrastructure back in shape for District 2. Thank you.
Ms. Alessandro?
Yes, hi.
You have 3 minutes.
Okay, so did I hear you guys say that this won't take effect until 2026? Is that?
No, that was
that
a
was
joke.
Okay, all right. All right, so that kind of changes what I was going to say. Just two things. Number one, I'm for this, but you guys are splitting money that is currently being distributed equally amongst all 5 districts. And so in the future, not you guys, but we have some, other council members that perhaps don't get along as well as you guys do. And I'm concerned that there could be a question there. You're taking money out of all 5 districts, but then you have the discretion now for the at-larges where to reallocate that money. So, it could be in the future where, maybe a council member doesn't get along with another council member, so they don't give their district any money, but they get along with this other one. So just something to think about, and I was just wondering, is there any way that the public can track how you guys spend this money other than just watching the projects that you do? Is there some kind of, accountability, something in the budget, which I don't think there is, but is there some kind of accountability to where we can track like how this money is being spent? And my second question is, do you want me to pause, George?
No,
Okay,
keep going.
My second question is, I understand that this money we're talking about is significantly down this year, like 40% down. So my question is, I believe that everything was probably negotiated with the prior administration regarding the treasure chest for the most part. Can somebody please explain to the public what is the mechanism that determines how much money the treasure chest gives to the city of Kenner? I mean, it's down a lot, almost half, 40%. How do we know how much money that they're giving us? What is that formula? And what safeguards do we have to make sure that we are actually getting all of that money? Thank you.
Okay, your 3 minutes is up. Ms. Herring?
First off, all council funds are run through the finance department like normal, so procurement happens. It's all public record. Anytime anyone wants to know what they're spending their money on, it's all available to the public. Second, we get a percentage of the treasure chest revenues, and we get a passenger fee. During construction, I would think it would be common to see a decline in passengers. But as the new casino gets built, we're expecting revenue to increase. How it's set up is they give us a certain set amount each month, and then they do a true up at the end. So based on what we're seeing and numbers we're seeing going to the casino, it has declined. Like I said, as construction's completed, the new building is built, the new casino's built, I would expect revenues to increase. I think that was all her questions.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Herring. Councilmember Shorwell.
I'm sorry, Council President. Mr. Mayor, hello, sir. How are you? Right now, we're doing 25% divided 5 ways, and most of that money is being spent on infrastructure. Can we take and make 30% from the treasure chest and give that extra 5% to the 2 at-larges?
It's a legislation. You can do whatever you want if you go back and change an ordinance. I mean, it's by ordinance where the breakdown is. Police have their own separate one, and they're also on the city side also. But it's all distributed by ordinance.
Yeah,
Liz can tell you
if I can.
several places where it goes.
Yeah, so the treasure chest money, off the top number, the police get 24% of the city share of police, and they get 100% of their share for the treasure chest. After that, it is split. 50% goes to fund our capital budget. So any other type of projects that the city does. So public work matches, all like a Roosevelt project and stuff like that, where the city has to do a match or something like that. That's where that money's coming from. The remaining 50% gets split, so 25% goes to your debt to pay off debt service, and the remaining 25% is split for the council. So if you're gonna take away, you're taking away from paying off debt, and you're taking away from projects that the city needs to do and money we need for capital.
Okay, I got it, because I mean, most of the money I'm getting is going for city improvements anyway, that the city would do anyway, but I'm just using it out of my
Yeah.
capital funds.
A lot of times the city prioritizes projects, so, we can't do every project right away. So Jose has a list and a schedule for the next 5 years of what money we're gonna need to move along state capital outlay projects, and we're barely covering it now.
Yeah, just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Herring. Thank you, Mayor Glazer. Councilmember Brennan.
Thank you, Council Chair. Can you tell us what the amount of money was last year that went to the council offices, please?
Yeah, I can pull it up. I think it was around maybe 102,000 this past year. It varies. It's been as high as 200,000, I think.
So last year it was about 500,000.
Total between,
Correct.
yes.
All right, and what would your guesstimate be at this?
I think we said 60,000 in the budget that we're proposing so far. And obviously, it depends. If revenues increase, we would amend the budget and increase what your allocation would be. But at this time, I think the best thing for the city is to be on the conservative side, just because we don't know what the casino is going to do.
Thank you.
Councilmember Hatt.
Yeah, Liz, going into the per passenger fee on the boat, is it still $250? That's what the last time I did a deep dive into it.
$250, yep.
$250. And Stacy called me on this, showing how's that counted. Do we still have a person that counts it?
I'm sorry, I didn't talk about that. Yes,
Yeah.
so they send in their sheets to the finance department. We did have a contract where someone goes out and audits the count, but they do provide an audit. They get reviewed, obviously, by the Gaming Commission and stuff like that, and we receive updates and quarterly reports too. So it is reviewed. We know what their earnings are. All that is released to us quarterly.
So Stacy, it is audited. You asked me that this week. Okay. Thank you, Liz. I really appreciate that.
Councilmember McKinney.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to respond to that and say that I don't necessarily agree with Councilman Schwartz that it's taking money away, because it's giving funds to the at-large council members. We represent all the districts, right? So that gives us the possibility to work with Councilman Schwartz and give money back to District 2. District 1 and all the districts. So it's not necessarily taking them directly back. So it's just giving us the ability to work together to do things that are good for all the districts, right? So, and which we represent, right? So I don't necessarily agree with that, and really it encourages all of us to work together, because in order to get these bigger projects and get more funding, we really need to, pool our funds. So I think it actually encourages people to work together. So thank you.
Ms. Herring, the $60,000 number that you put out, is that split by 5 or 6?
That's split by 5, so,
So
yeah.
it's gonna be a little less.
Yeah, we
Okay.
prepared the budget as the ordinance reads now, and then any changes, we would amend the budget to make
Okay.
the adjustment.
Okay, and we just hope that once the casino is built, it drives a lot more people into that building because of the safety of our community and the great police department that we have protecting us. Councilmember Brennan, did you have something else?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, so,
You have someone at the podium, excuse me.
I'm sorry, Mr. Morel, every time you come up there, I don't see you. Mr. Morel?
Well, I can talk, and I know you can certainly hear me. Al Morello, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 51 years. Now, I have a question, because these revenues, we still getting these revenues, was not mentioned. Liz, are we still getting $250 for every person that walks through the doors of the Treasure Chest Casino? Even if they leave and come back, it's another $250. Are we still getting those revenues, and how much are those revenues?
Yeah, that's the passenger count that we talked about. So passenger fees, it's a count they do, and we get $250 per passenger. I don't have the figures with me right now to tell you what that breakout is, but I can get back with you.
If you can get them for the next meeting, I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Morel, I've got a suggestion. Maybe instead of walking on Joe Yenny, you can go to the treasure chest and walk in and walk out and walk in and walk out for like an hour and a half.
I can't do that, Councilman. That would be fraud.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think you have to have a shirt on to go.
You have to have a shirt on to do that. Anyone else have any comments? Okay, the original amended legislation hoopla. Motion by Councilmember Brennan, second by Councilmember McKinney. All councilmen in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Madam Chairman, I'm going to abstain, please.
You're abstaining?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Councilmember Sharwood is abstaining. Item 13 is resolutions and motions by council members. Item 13A is a resolution authorizing a settlement in the lawsuit entitled Veolia Water North America Operating Services, LLC, and Professional Services Group Incorporated versus the City of Kenner Eastern District of Louisiana, number 2:21-CV-00327. Mr. Chairman, I've received a request for a one-meeting deferral.
Thank you, Council Clerk. Got a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember Lahat on the deferral. Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 13B is a resolution authorizing a settlement in the lawsuit entitled Danks versus Philip Grayson et al., case number 2:21-CV-1806. Mr. Chairman, I've also received a request for one meeting deferral.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember Lahat on deferral. Council members in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 13C is a resolution appointing Keith R. Credo to the City of Kenner Civil Service Board in accordance with Charter of the City of Kenner.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brennan, second by Councilmember McKinney. Is anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 13D is a resolution naming the basketball court and the gym at Merce-Bertolino Playground, the Barbara Giratano Court.
Got a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember McKinney. Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 14 is items removed from the consent agenda. We have none. Item 15 is acceptance of contracts and similar matters approved by the mayor. Item 15A is summary ordinance number 13,231, an ordinance authorizing an agreement with DRC Emergency Services LLC to provide post-disaster services and support in accordance with RFP number 23-6717.
I got a motion by Councilmember McKinney, second by Councilmember Shortworth. Anyone have any comments on this item? I guess I have one question. This is just to reinstate our after hurricane cleanup and stuff like that.
Yes, that's correct, and the funding source will be reimbursed by insurance once we settle with the insurance companies.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 15B is summary ordinance number 13,232, an ordinance approving an agreement with Serve Pro of Metairie, North Kenner, Harahan for remediation and restoration services in an amount not to exceed $90,000 for the Department of Finance.
I got a motion by Councilmember Brennan, second by Councilmember Brannigan. Anyone wishing to speak on this? Again, is that a hurricane-related deal, or?
Yes, it is. It's all the records that are in the building A that are still in the city vault.
Okay.
That need to be treated. They got, I guess, mold and everything on it, and move them, and they'll move them. It's not to exceed the amount. It's going to come in less than that. So I know Liz asked for a couple of dollars more, just in case they run into something when they're treating and moving these files.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 15C is summary ordinance number 13,233, an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid from Gold Rush Signs LLC to furnish and install one sign at Veterans Park in accordance with letter bid 23-2059 in the amount of $7,410 for the Department of General Services.
Got a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, second by Councilmember Shortworth. Anyone wishing to speak on this? Seeing none, council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 15D. Mr. Chairman, this was inadvertently put on this agenda. It was removed in summary at the last meeting at the request of the legal department. If I could have a motion and a second to remove this item from the agenda.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember Wilmot for the removal of this item. Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 15E is summary ordinance number 13,234, an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Technology International Incorporated to purchase one battery backup for Star Master at the planetarium in accordance with letter bid 23-2060 and an amount not to exceed $21,645 for the Department of General Services.
Got a motion by Councilmember Kenny, second by Councilmember Dunn. Anyone wishing to speak on this? Seeing none, council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 15F is summary ordinance number 13,235, an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from B&H Photo Video Pro Audio LLC for the purchase of city cameras in accordance with fax bid number T23-2917 in an amount not to exceed $13,839.72.
Got a motion by Councilmember McKinney, second by Councilmember Dunn. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 15G, summary ordinance number 13,236, an ordinance approving the use of state contract number 4400023194 with A&L Sales Incorporated for the purchase of various types of trash bags and can liners on an as-needed basis at a cost not to exceed $20,000 for the Kenner Police Department.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember Lahat. Anyone wishing to speak on this? Seeing none? Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Wilmot? We can't hear you.
Yeah, we have a very clean building. No, this is a customary purchase, janitorial supplies. We get our paper products and our trash bags from A&L. It's bid out. It's a not to exceed amount. I think usually it's about $9,000 a year, but with storms coming up, you never know. It's responsible for the 4-story building we're in, the lockup, the training facility, and some other areas around town.
Normally you say it's around $9,000?
It's about $9,000 or $10,000.
That's all, thank you.
Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 15H is summary ordinance number 13,237, an ordinance approving the use of state contract number 44000233312 with Precision Delta Corporation for the purchase of various types of ammunition on an as-needed basis at a cost not to exceed $50,000 for the Kenner Police Department.
Got a motion by Councilmember Brennan, second by Councilmember McKinney. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 15I is summary ordinance number 13,238, an ordinance approving an agreement with Vanderbrook and Company, LLC, certified public accountants for financial consulting in an amount not to exceed $90,000 for the Kenner Police Department.
Got a motion by Councilmember Brennan, second by Councilmember McKinney. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 15J is summary ordinance number 13,239, an ordinance approving an increase to the not-to-exceed amount established to furnish and install light bars and sirens from Vehicle Parts and Equipment Incorporated utilizing state contract numbers 4400005417, 4400018761, and 4400022051 for the Departments of Fleet Management, Police, and Fire.
Got a motion by Councilmember Shawworth, second by Councilmember Lahat. Anyone? Councilmember Wilmot?
Again, just if we can have some explanation on it. It says to increase the not to exceed amount. What is that amount?
So this is a contract that's thrown on by the entire city, from fleet to fire to police, and it's just giving us the opportunity to exercise the state contracts to make procurements of light bars, and the needed signals for signs and signals for vehicles.
Right.
Okay,
And
it was 100, it's increasing by 50,000.
that's what I'm.
Yeah,
that's what
so
I'm
it was
interested-
100,000, we're increasing to 150,
Okay.
so it's a 50.
That's what I needed to know. Thank you. Thank you.
Got a motion by Councilman Shawworth.
You got
second
somebody
by,
here at the podium.
Mr. Morella.
Al Morella, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 51 years. Thank you, Councilman Wilmot. That was going to be my question, but I got another question. What is the reason for the increase? Can we get an explanation why the increase? We got what the cap is, but why the increase?
They've already spent 84,000, so the police department has, along with the city, had to put lights and equipment on the vehicles. I know police have had some new vehicles come in, so they've utilized all the funding that they have. So
Okay.
they're asking for more.
Thank you, Liz. And one more thing before I close it out. Whenever I got a situation like this, where we got two non-elected officials and one elected official, I always like to hear from the elected official who has to answer to the people. Anybody got any comments, any questions? Thank you.
Council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 15K is summary ordinance number 13,240, an ordinance accepting the lowest responsible bid received from Bayou State to purchase electrical supplies for the sewer lift station at Veterans Boulevard and the parish line in accordance with seal bid number 23-6743 in the amount of $36,317.85 for the Department of Public Works.
Got a motion by Councilmember Dunn, second by Councilmember Brennan. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none, council members in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Seeing none, motion passes 7-0. Item 16 is ordinances and resolutions in summary for first reading. Item 16A is an ordinance adopting the capital budget for the City of Kenner for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2024. Item 16B is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Barrier Construction Company, LLC, to supply asphalt materials on an as-needed basis in accordance with seal bid number 23-6752 and an amount not to exceed $60,000 annually for the Department of Field Services. Item 16C is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsibility received from Armstrong Supply Company Incorporated to supply electrical supplies on an as-needed basis in accordance with seal bid number 23-6742 and an amount not to exceed $200,000 annually for the Department of Field Services. Item 16D is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsibility received from Automated Control Systems Incorporated to purchase generator load testing supplies in accordance with letter bid number 23-2063 in the amount of $19,872 for the Department of Public Works. Item 16E is an ordinance approving change order number 3, final to the agreement with Hard Rock Construction LLC dated May 23, 2019, regarding West Esplanade Avenue bridges at Duncan Canal, State Project Number H.011731.6, Federal Aid Project Number H011731, Kenner Public Works Project Number 2014-001A-CIP, for a decrease of $113,234, and to accept the completion of the project as constructed for the Department of Public Works. Item 16F is an ordinance ratifying the policy and rates for the commercial property insurance for the City of Kenner for the policy year June 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2024. Item 16G is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsibility received from DPC Enterprises LP for a contract to provide sodium hypochlorite on an as-needed basis in accordance with seal bid number 23-6746 and an amount not to exceed $130,410 annually for the Department of Wastewater. Item 16H is an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administration, to add Article 7, Requirements for HUD, Section 3, Covered Projects to the Kenner Code of Ordinances. Item 16I is an ordinance authorizing the City of Kenner to hold a public auction on June 8, 2023 to sell surplus movable property no longer needed for public purpose and setting the terms and disposition of proceeds from the sale. Item 16J is an ordinance approving the lease of the building and land located on a portion of Lot 17C, Square 40, Old Kenner subdivision, bearing the municipal address of 409 Williams Boulevard and commonly referred to as the Observatory. Item 16K is an ordinance amending ordinance number 11,062 adopted by the City of Kenner, Louisiana on March 17, 2016, entitled Unified Development Code of the City of Kenner, Louisiana, more particularly amending and rezoning lots 7 through 14, lots 19 through 26, and lots 29 through 42, Square 460, Highway Park Subdivision, Kenner, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, from RR1 Single Family Residential to SI Special Industrial, and directing, authorizing, and empowering the Planning Director of the City of Kenner to alter and amend the official zoning map of the City of Kenner, Louisiana, which property is owned by Jefferson Wholesale LLC. Item 17 is reports from the council and our special committees.
Yes, I want to wish everyone a happy Cinco de Mayo, and don't drink too many margaritas. And also today we have a special day. Our assistant council clerk, Miss Teresa Hastings, it's her birthday, and hopefully everybody can wish her a happy birthday.
She's hiding.
Now you got 6 pedophores in that box, one for each 5-year increment of age.
Happy birthday, Teresa.
Anyone, Councilmember Shawwoff?
But some of you may not know, today is National Firefighter Day, Mr. Hotard. I want to say for all the members of Kenner Fire Department and all the firemen around the United States and the world, thank you for your service and your dedication and your sacrifice.
Mr.
Councilmember Dunn.
Mr. Hotard, and we really need to get together on this proclamation, but wait until after the budget hearing. Okay.
Council Clerk?
Item 19 is unfinished business and motions to reconsider or remove from a tabled position. We have none. Item 20 is persons wishing to address the council on special subject matters.
Mr. Al Morella.
Al Morella, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 51 years. I want to start with a point of clarification. on my history segment from the last meeting. First, it was Confederate General Joseph E. Johnson in the second surrender at Durham Station in North Carolina to William T. Sherman. Albert Sidney Johnson, Confederate General, was killed in the Battle of Shiloh, Tennessee on April 6, 1862. Second point of clarification, the play that President Lincoln was watching, Ford's Theater, was our American cousin, not my American cousin. So I apologize for the error to the viewers, and I'll make it my business to make sure this don't happen again. Okay, now, second thing, I want to say I stand behind the parents and the children and their protest of the closing of Washington Elementary School back here in Kenner. A study was done by a teachers' organization. It was in the Advocate yesterday. And a teacher group stated they have no say in what they teach in the classrooms. They told what to teach, when to teach it, and how to teach it, okay? Now, on that same note, House Bill 463 made it out of committee yesterday to ban the sick, twisted, perverted ideology that's trying to be part of curriculum in our schools, protecting our children. Now, it's being pushed by the corrupt unions and the corrupt politicians who they put in office with the teachers' union dues. Now, that bill was opposed by State Representative Joe Stagney of the 92nd District. He opposed it. So maybe that's acceptable to him, that type of ideology. The people in the 92nd District deserve better. Anybody got any comments, any questions? And you can confer all you want, Councilman Wilmot. This is my time. This is my opportunity to say whatever I want to say. Person wishing to address the council on special subject matter. So you want to defend this, you have an opportunity to do so, just like I have an opportunity to say what I got to say. Anybody got any comments, any questions?
Your 3 minutes is up, Mr.
Thank you,
Burrell.
sir.
And may I make a comment?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Wilmot.
And when somebody comes up to the podium and starts mentioning people's names in particular, it starts getting political, and that's what I dislike. So that's all I have to say on that.
Mr. Matt Hotard. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name.
Yes, sir. Matthew Hotard, 66 Red Oak, president of the Kenner Firefighters Association. First and foremost, I wanted to touch on a few things. We were able to be, the Kenner Firefighters Association was able to be part of the Driftwood Crawfish Cook-Off, which was a lot of fun. We were very happy to be there. It's a good way for us to get out into our community and to see a lot of familiar faces, but also to meet some new ones. In our fire department, we get up here and talk about losing firefighters quite a bit, but 2 weeks ago we lost a member of our administrative staff. I think that speaks volumes of where our department is, unfortunately at the time. Charles Hudson, who was part of emergency management in Jefferson Parish, who came to the Kenner Fire Department to be chief administration and was moved around quite a bit, was an integral part of our fire department. I would dare anyone else to say that he wasn't. In his very short time here, he made a huge impact. He was helping not only the department, he was very selfless, but he was also helping individuals of the fire department. He was just been hired by the Jefferson Parish Fire Department to be a chief of administration, and our association wishes him the best, and we are going to sorely miss him. I wanted to touch on the last meeting that I wasn't able to attend. I did watch it quite a few times and listen to what two of the chiefs behind me came up here and spoke about. There's a lot that could be agreed upon when speaking about the lack of funding and resources for the fire department, and speaking about the asks of the fire department, and there are quite a few. However, when we say that staying here in the long run is a better move than moving to a more financially sound and rewarding department, with our current structure, simply is not true. Not only are we losing retirees, as Chief Morris said, in this next fiscal year and the years to come, but if we stay the course, we will also be losing firefighters. So the number of people we're going to have to replace when you're talking about manpower rises exponentially. I'm imploring that not only does the City of Kenner Council, the Mayor's Office, and the Fire Department find a way to fix our severely underfunded department, and I know I keep saying that, but we are, but that the Kenner Firefighter Association be brought in to help with this. We have been asking this since we've been here. There's been a lot of you who have been on the board last year. There's some new faces. We feel like we have a lot to offer. We want to right this ship, which is our ship, the fire department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hotard. Mr. Greg Teft.
Greg Tapp, 3720 West Loyola Drive. Actually, I just want to make a few little points. One of them is that y'all going to be looking at the budget next week. I know it was recommended that the employees get a 2%, I believe it was a 2% increase. But as I said before, our employees are our biggest asset to maintaining Kenner. They're already underpaid. And the cost of living is much higher today than it was last year and the year before. And 2% isn't really going to help them a whole lot. You're going to just force them to find another job. Now, I don't know how much experience y'all have, but anytime you lose an employee, it costs you twice as much to train a new employee to take that employee's place. Y'all need to think about that. Now, I know the budget's tight because I looked at it, the revenue's not there. It's going to be tough. All I'm saying is, I still believe our employees are underpaid. They need to get up to par. They need to make a good wage. Where we get that money from or where we make the cuts from, that's y'all's decision. I think there is some room, but just keep in mind, they're our asset. We lose them, we got problems. Things that we need to get done, you know, like we just talked about, y'all need money to get projects done. Well, first of all, you got to have somebody to do those projects. If you don't have an employee out there that can lay that asphalt, what have you got? You've got the money now, but you still don't have the job. Keep that in mind while you're doing this budget. I plead with you to do that. The last thing I want to say is, I looked at the new website, the Kenner website. Personally, I liked it. I think whoever did it did a good job. It's easy to navigate through. I was actually able to find things and was able to move around in it. So it's a refreshing website, and I think for the citizens of Kenner to go to it, I think it shows that we stepped in the right direction because that's a step up, definitely a step up from what we had before. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Teft. Ms. Stacy Alessandro.
Hello again. So, two things. Number one, I saw Mr. Bryan walk in and maybe remember something I wanted to talk about. I see this young gentleman come to our council meetings periodically, and he comes up here and he's offering solutions to something that he sees as a problem, that's something we're doing wrong, or we could do better. And then at the last council meeting, I even heard his mother get up and say, you know, how hard it is as his mom. She's very proud of him for coming here and even doing this as a young person, and that she wishes that you guys would listen to him and hear him out. And I never see that being done. And when I sit at home, I think the same thing. Every time I see this gentleman come up here and talk, he tells us what he thinks is going on, and it's okay, thank you, goodbye, and that is it. I just asked him, do you have any qualifications about what you come up here and bring to the podium? And he does. He has a master's degree in architecture, and he has an expertise in this one little particular issue about the light fixtures that he keeps bringing up. So my first thing I would like to say is, can you guys please, the next time that he comes up here to speak, can we give him the courtesy of maybe a little back and forth discussion, maybe, Public Works or whoever. I want to hear more about what he's coming up here time after time after time to say. I'm just asking for a little discussion. I'm not saying that he's even going to be right. Maybe what we're already doing is the right thing, but I think it's worth a little bit more than thank you, goodbye. I'd like a little discussion. The second thing I'm up here, what I really came to talk about, is panhandling. Completely out of control in the city of Kenner, and I know our hands are tied on what we can do. We have to follow the Constitution, and I want to do that. But I want to say there are things that can be done. Jefferson Parish right now on the West Bank are actively doing things to help with the situation on the West Bank. They're using landscaping techniques that are going to be helping. They are actively solving this problem. It's getting out of hand. When I have family members that come from out of town and they haven't been in Kenner in a long time, they think, is this turning into Skid Row in Kenner? I mean, it's getting bad, and the people are out in the traffic. Now they're selling flowers, which what I understand, you have to have a permit. So, I mean, if the people are doing something illegal, what is the problem with that? And I don't know if the police department, I know you guys have real crime to deal with, so I don't know how the police department, if you had a bunch of citizens calling you up and complaining every time somebody's darting in and out of traffic or selling flowers illegally, if the citizens call to complain, do we call the police department? Do we call code? And would that be overwhelming to you when you have other more pressing crimes? I don't want to make your job any more difficult, but I think we need to figure something out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, we do ask people to dial 911. We do monitor the situation, and we do take action when they're darting in and out of traffic or being overly aggressive and knocking on windows and such. The selling of the flowers, we just got notice of that, and we are working. Monday, we have a meeting set up with our officer, our liaison with the code division, and we're going to actively look into that. But yeah, absolutely, call 911. We do respond. We know the people that are out there. We have taken action against them before, but we just have to be very careful as to make sure that we don't cross certain lines to where we end up spending tax dollars that can be used for infrastructure and whatnot to pay off lawsuits and things of that nature. So, we do know there's a problem out there. We do ask the citizens always dial 911. I know there's been some Facebook posts or whatnot saying think twice before you dial 911. I don't agree with that. Dial 911 if you have a problem or suspicion. Let us figure it out, but we'll always be there.
Okay. George, could I just ask one question? 5 seconds?
Yes.
Is it possible that we could create some type of task force to just study this problem, just to study to see what we can do about it? It is a big problem. I don't know if you followed it on social media, but it's a big problem.
Well, I do follow it on social media, and I have gone out and said on social media that if you stop giving money to these people or buying flowers from these people, or whatever the deal is, it's going to fix itself. Then I get accused of being mean, okay? It's not, City of Slidell got sued, right, Chief? They paid $25,000.
Yeah, we have met with the council over this a couple times and gotten legal opinions. So, it's kind of like walking through a minefield, but it is a concern of the council, the administration, and the police department. And, it's going to take a little time to find a way to strategically, defeat the problem. But, Councilman Brannigan's right. I've sat on the corner and watched, and as my officers monitor the situation, people give them boatloads of money out of the window. And now, yesterday, there were 3 of them on the corner, and, now they're overpopulating the little spheres of parts of the state highways. So, it's going to be a challenge, but I think that, we'll be able to defeat it eventually.
I think we need to educate the public. I know a lot of people, myself included, it's hard when you pass by somebody begging on the side of the road, because what if that one little minuscule chance that this is actually a person in need, and it tugs at your heartstrings. So, if we had some kind of educational campaign where we knew that people were going out there and giving these people resources, you could feel better about not giving them money. And I think there's ways we could solve this problem.
Well, we've also had several meetings with the parish, and they're one of the departments that deal with mental illness and, getting people the help they need, as you just mentioned. They have come out and ridden with our officers, and we put them in touch with some people that we've seen that we think have some issues that they need some assistance with. So we are engaged with parish resources. So we're not just letting the problem play out. We are trying to interject ourselves into it as much as we can.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Okay, I got Councilmember Wilmot. You wanted to say something? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to make comment something that was said earlier. We got state reps and our state senators, our Kenner delegation that works very hard up in Baton Rouge, that consists of 4 members. They take thousands of votes annually or during the legislative session, literally thousands. The ones that most people see are just when they take them on a House floor. But those members belong to 2 or 3 other committees, and they're voting all throughout the morning and afternoon. And it's a very difficult process. But when somebody comes up to the podium and makes comment about any of those members, not just our Kenner delegation, but members that may be in Jefferson Parish, for example, or on the federal level, this is not the right forum, in my opinion, for those comments. I don't believe this is the right forum to name drop, and that's what that's doing, and it's pretty much political in nature, and I just think it's wrong, and it shouldn't be done here. So that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to respond to Ms. Alessandro. I have met with Ryan Nugent, and I am working to get him in touch with someone in Public Works so he can discuss information with them directly. And I appreciate his effort. I think that, and I said this last time. And I also want to say, with regard to panhandling, it's a problem that none of us is going to solve, as elected officials. But one of the things, and some people may say that it's I was saying it jokingly, but we need to hire people in the city of Kenner to do things. We have a lot of vacancies. So if these people would, want to work for the city of Kenner and want to help the city of Kenner, they can actually work for the city of Kenner instead of panhandling and trying to take advantage of the citizens. So.
Councilmember Lahat.
Yeah, Stacy, behind the scenes, I've talked to Ryan a whole bunch about his ideas. I agree with him that we need uniform lighting. How we get that done, it's a lot. It's complicated because energy is involved too. But we're talking about it, so it's just Ryan's in my district on Erlanger, so he comes to all our Driftwood meetings and we talk a lot. So it's not falling on deaf ears. But in terms of panhandling, I thought at some point we talked about putting signs up that says, please don't donate to this cause, please don't, because it's unsafe, please don't give money to people panhandling on the corner because it's a safety hazard. If you want to donate money, give to Red Cross or something else. Many cities have that. I don't think that would be that expensive to actually get those up in Williams, that area in Chateau where it happens sometimes. I would pay for some of those signs in my district if we could just get those made. I don't think there's not that much money to build signs, are there?
It's not the cost of it, you actually have to file for a permit with the state to put them up on state highways.
Oh, so it's Williams Boulevard. Oh. Okay.
We have the forms, and we got to identify where we're going to put them before. And then it's just a technicality. They said that they'll grant the permit. It's just a matter of we got to put where we're going to put them and what we're going to say. So we have several different. We've been around looking at some of the signs and what it says.
Great.
Now, Amy's going to touch on the wanting of help, I think, right?
Ms. Fowler?
Well, I was going to speak on the homelessness issue as well. We're in the process of doing the signs right now in terms of getting the permit applications to the state DOTD. If you recall, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 months ago, we had some individuals from the Jefferson Parish Human Services Authority that came to speak to us with regard to assistance on homelessness. I'll just kind of reiterate, Mr. Casabon spoke, and he has spent a lot of time out here on Williams and Veterans Boulevard engaging with those individuals that are there, and we'll continue to work with them. I do have a number that if anybody wants to use for assistance with Jefferson Parish Human Services Authority, it's 504-220-7185. And they're trying to provide as much assistance as they can with regard to addressing the homelessness situation throughout Jefferson Parish, including Kenner.
Councilmember Sharwoth.
On the homeless situation, I just recently did a little road trip myself and drove from here to Katy, Texas. I'll tell you that I've seen people on the corners in Kenner, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Houston, Beaumont, everywhere. They're everywhere. They're just not here in Kenner. They are everywhere. It's a shame. Sometimes you can lead the horse to water, but you can't get him to drink. And we just hope that these people will reach out and take the services that's available to them. So I don't lose anything in translation here. Mr. Al, you talked to me about the homeless. Could you please tell everybody again the date and time and place about the meeting that's going to be held here soon?
Thank you, Councilman. Jefferson Parish Council meeting, 10 a.m., Wednesday, May 17th, on the West Bank in the Gretna Complex. It was deferred from the last meeting. It's going to be on the agenda for the meeting on May 17th. All that's concerned, got something to say, come on down, make every effort you can. I know it's early in the morning, people got to go to work, but if you can make a concerted effort to come on down, you can join in the conversation. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Al.
Thank you. Okay, in section 17, I missed our DCAO, Ms. Newton, who had something to say. I guess I didn't want Mr. Morella to feel lonely where I keep missing people. So, Ms. Newton.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to make our residents aware of a resource that's available to them. Our Community Development Department, in conjunction with the State Community Development Department and the Restore Louisiana program, are doing some on-site assistance visits. They're called mobile site visits. We held one yesterday, May 3rd, at the Pavilion, but there's one upcoming on May 25th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Kenner Senior Center, 641 Compromise Street. It's a federal grant program that provides funding for home repair reconstruction to homeowners who sustained FEMA-determined damage after Hurricanes Laura, Delta, or Ida, or the May 2021 severe storms. We have information on how to contact our community development on our website if you want to learn more information. But to those of our homeowners who are still struggling with home repairs, I encourage you to go to this on-site visit and see if there's any assistance available to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Newton. Ronnie, Councilmember Sharwoth.
Council President, I want to say thank you so much for your help over at Green Lawn Playground. Him and I did a little project over there with also our Recreation Department Director that we helped out there. We're doing everything that we can for our Recreation Department. But I want to say thank you so much.
You're welcome. Enjoy doing it with you. Okay, so no one else? I have a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, second by Councilmember Wilmot to adjourn. Goodbye.